Note to self, run another airline to the other side of the shop. Suppose I could have pulled the truck out and then run the tractor over there, but then I would have had to pull that out. So it was move the truck and all that, or run airline. But anyway, got the wheel off. So first thing I need to do is mark where the hole is, get the tire off the wheel. Well, break the bead, that's always fun. Get the tire off the wheel. I got all the tools to put a patch on the inside, and we'll be back up and running. Some folks would have put a plug in there. I don't like plugs, especially on tractors where you're spinning the wheels a lot. They tend to pull out. But from a small nail hole like that, a patch is the best way to go. All right, after much struggling, it's never easy to do these little tires. I always liked when I was working at the tire shop doing the off-road tires, like the 31, 33s. You could just throw those on. They were so heavy they'd almost pull themselves off the wheel once you got them working. But not so much with this little one. There's a short sidewall. It's a really stiff tire, and the rim has got a really long shoulder. Let me see if I can explain some of that. You may have remembered I put a tire on my trailer wheel, but this is the shoulder of the rim, and so there's a little indent here where the bead sits. So breaking this bead is easy because it pops out and goes into this lower bit here. But getting the backside off is a little tougher because you got to slide it all the way across here, and then it'll finally free up here. So we'll have the same struggles when we put the tire back on, but it'll be easier because I can push down. I did use the stabilizer on the tractor as a bead breaker to push down. A couple of bricks, push down. It took me a little finagling, but I managed to get it. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this tire back on the wheel. I'll show you the patch. So that's the patch. Take a rubber buffer and you smooth out the rubber so that it doesn't have any place where the air could leak through. You want it nice and smooth. And you put some rubber prep, some glue, let the glue dry. It's kind of like a vulcanizing glue, and you set the patch on there. The buffer I use is this hand buffer. A little bit of rubber prep. You put that on after you get it all buffed out. Then we had some vulcanizing cement, and yeah, I've got a variety of patches. Once it's on there, you take this little roller tool, roll it across the patch, make sure it seals good. I won't bore you with watching me struggle, but basically you just slide the tire back on the wheel, get it past the shoulder, get it seated, and air it up. Should be that easy. All right, so once you get the patch on, get the tire to reseat and so forth, the trick is to make sure it doesn't leak still. Sometimes the patch doesn't always take. If it doesn't, there's no going back. You just got to put a tube in it. So let's give this a test here. So right there was my leak. Very little bit of soap on it. I think I'm seeing any leak anymore. Sweet! It would bubble up pretty much like this suds over here, but it would be right in that crack. So we're all good. All right, all that's left is put the wheel back on. I'm going to use a little bit of NEC's lubricant on my bolts. I tried to use my, if I can do this without making a mess, my Ryobi impact driver. It didn't have enough oomph to take these bolts off, so we will use my Craftsman, and we'll toss this guy back on there with some NECs. There you go. All back on there. We will let the jack down and clean up the floor. Made a bit of a mess. But yeah, this jack works really well. I am impressed. So, like folks said though, this pad doesn't hold up very well. But that's alright. The rest of it's been pretty good so far. All better. Checked all the tires, made sure that they were all up to par. I forgot that I have water in the back tires, So I heard a gurgling sound. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. There's water back there. Not water in the fronts though. All right, let me get this thing flipped around. It was raining briefly. More of a drizzle, but we'll see. Maybe I can get out and do some stuff. I was out here working in the yard the other day, doing the clearing for the Iron Man thing. And I tell you, there's a certain thrill you get when you're at a sporting event and you hear the fighter jets fly over and there's this whole patriotic feel to it. But let me tell you, I was standing out here in the quiet and the stillness and I heard this. Nothing quite like it. And so I flipped around and started recording with the camera some of what I could. But there's about a dozen bald eagles. Fun fact about the bald eagles, I didn't realize this, but they don't get that white head until they're about 4 or 5 years old. So most of these that you'll see in the clip are youngins. So they're still under 4, but still just as majestic and awesome to have a dozen of these guys just kind of circling around doing a flyby. So apparently I took pictures instead of actually recording the segment that was supposed to go here. So I'll record it after the fact. But I was out here picking up a bunch of the palmetto, clearing stuff, scraping, raking, doing all that kind of fun stuff. And I looked down and it's kind of a kickstand for the loader had dropped on one side. So apparently the cotter pin had fallen out and the pin, it's somewhere out here. I'm not really sure where. Good luck finding a little tiny pin though. So I had to try and figure out how to keep that up and keep it from falling. As I used the loader, it was just going to bend the heck out of it. So it definitely needed to be addressed. So that was the second drawback to my day here. The first was the flat tire nail I picked up. Second one was the loader kickstand pin falling out. But anyway, I got it worked out and you'll see the end results here. All right, so my solution was, instead of trying to find one of those or wait, order it, etc., I found a bolt with a lock nut. So the lock nut should allow this to spin still. So the whole mechanism will work. Not that I'm ever going to do it, but it should keep this from popping out, although this bolt probably could use some straightening. I wonder if I can get on that with a persuading device and fix that. All right, this is another pickup I have to do. So I did some work and I didn't film it. So here's kind of what I ended up doing and how it worked out. So this bracket here had gotten bent. It should look more like the one on the other side there that holds that brush guard. And I think that's kind of where some of my troubles with the pin was. Let's see if I can get you back to a similar angle. So this bolt here, you can't see my finger. This bolt here is the one I hit it with a hammer. I straightened it out, kind of got it going and so forth. So that was all good. Kickstand's now back up where it's supposed to be. The brush guard, it still kicks out a little bit. It's supposed to be parallel. Let me show you what the other side looks like from a similar angle. See how nice and tight it is up against there. So it needs some work, but like I've said, I don't think I'll ever take the loader off of the tractor. I like the brush guard. It's not all that useful, it seems. It gets in the way more than it stops stuff from hitting. It does remind me when to stop and back up though. So anyway, it'll stay for now. I don't think I've mentioned this yet. I just put it up the other day. So some folks may know I work at Disney, not in the parks per se, but I'm back of house IT stuff. But uh, on breaks, I end up walking around backstage to get to lunch or what have you at Hollywood Studios. And one of the things I always thought was kind of cool is the warning signs. I've always had a thing for warning signs. So the back door of the shop here is kind of where we store the tractor and the farm truck and so forth. So there's a little bit closer look at the sign. Anyway, that's what the sign looks like. That's on most of the doors at the parks. If you open the door, you would be entering the ride path. So they put these up just to make sure people don't do something silly. One of the other things I wanted to mention is I've been playing with this compost pile. So the compost, I kind of mentioned this in a few of the videos, but this is the end that's been composting for quite some time. And going that way, it gets newer. But let me show you what this stuff looks like now. This is some really good looking soil. So we'll use this. I've got some sticks and stuff in here, but that's all right. We'll use this when we build out the garden. So that'll be in an upcoming video. Well, I've been having a lot of fun getting this space here cleared up, getting it ready for our Ironman event. The tree behind you is that one I was trying to clear out and get access to, and it turned out pretty well. I got a lot of it cleared out from underneath it. But thanks for watching. If you like more content like this, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what I'm doing right or what you'd like to see more of me doing and so forth. But as always, God bless.